Was goody, was goody, was goody. So of course, all y'all should know already. I like watching Dre OG because of the fact that he puts together some real good mixes. So without further ado, I guess we can go ahead and watch this together, you know? Let's get into it.
Smash that like button. Let's get this video to like 20,000 likes. Look, we got an amazing story here today. Y'all been wanting me to cover it, but I just needed a little bit more time so we can put these details together and line them up. Don't skip a thing or you will get lost in the sauce. I needed certain outlets to jump out there and hang themselves. So that it just makes this video a lot better so we can fully understand the manipulation and what's been going on. But look, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to show you the possibilities of this world that we live in. But look, man, if y'all on this journey with me, go ahead, subscribe, share these videos with your friends and your family.
Just know it.
We're going through this thing called life together. Let's get it.
Florida man claims to have been kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city.
Let's talk about it.
So Lee County Sheriff Department reported early one Monday morning of a man soaking wet on the shoulder of the beach, drawing
Blueprint in the sand. He was severely dehydrated and very disoriented. And what he told his deputies was he was taken against his will by a cloud of dolphins and forced to work underwater with them and build a city. So basically this big underwater construction project. And the man claimed that the dolphins approached him while he was swimming on
to a site that was 40 feet below the surface, where they needed help building structures. And what I find interesting is that he told the deputies that basically the dolphins communicated him through a series of clicks. Now y'all know it is actually very illegal to communicate with dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins hold secrets of ancient secrets, and there is a way that you can, communicate with dolphins. Dolphins are very highly intelligent animals. And he basically
This whole project named his daughter was on there. The zero sympathy underwater that Gerald handled the breathing for, which I'm assuming was like some type of airtime being available. I thought that before he had drawn a gathering blueprint in the sand he had returned to surface. And the deputy described the blueprint to be a little concerning in the like cities, towns, condos. And the dolphins were satisfied with his work, and they worked on the full construction, so they sent him back and they got back to get you for phase 2. So they're not here.
And the crazy thing is, they sent him to the hospital and he was
Just dehydrated, but
Sid.
there was no signs that he was, delirium or anything. Like, there was nothing going on with his mental. Like, he was perfectly fine. But the weirdest thing
with all this, they did several tests of them. So they found C1 and marine particles in his lungs.
Yeah.
Doctors, because that suggested that he had extended exposure to seawater without typical.
I just went.
So what they found was basically information that let him know that he was very
Really deep in the water. And he didn't have any type of damage. And like I said, he said he was down there for 3 days.
And the thing about this whole thing is, this man
And had a master's in aerospace engineering.
and he had worked on deep sea technology projects. So it was like
The dolphins came that this man was a very experienced engineer that had worked in the deep sea.
I don't care
So what y'all say? Save the whole made up
But it's literally
back.
that
That.
there was so much stuff in his lungs that showed that he was underwater for a long period of time with no lung damage.
It was just, this whole thing is so interesting. Everybody knows that dolphins are in the big.
I feel like they're trying to build some type of underwater kingdom for them.
Yeah.
But this is crazy, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and if y'all heard about this.
There are more than 10 known Anunnaki reptilian hybrid species described in the Emerald Order teachings, but they all trace back to one original bloodline, the fallen angelic Jehovian Anunnaki alien extraterrestrials, which are bipedal dolphin people seeded by the wicked Anu Elohim feline aquatic apes. It is these Jehovian Anunnaki who are being worshipped as Yahweh, Jehovah, Father God in Judaism and Christianity, and as Allah in Islam. Jehovian Anunnaki run the Galactic
That's
Federation,
interesting.
Ashtar Command, and are also associated with Metatron, Enoch, the Urantia book, Course in Miracles channeling, Templar Melchizedek Mormon texts, Tibetan creeds, and Kabbalah.
I think
Crystal
Ricky Hollowell
sabotage.
just answered why it's illegal to talk to dolphins. So Ricky Hollowell just showed up and said he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build on the water.
What would you do if
What? But the more
you
we learn
were
about
kidnapped? what would you do if you were kidnapped by dolphins? Well, I'm curious. What would you do if you were taken against your will by any types of animals? What would you do? What would you do? I'm curious. I'm curious to know. What would you do? Because that's not something that happens every day. That is not something you would. Yeah, I'm curious. What would you do? Because you know nobody's gonna believe you. Like you know nobody's going to believe you that that happened to you. Hell, you got individuals these days who can't even believe that something happened to you from other people. So let alone they think that something like that happened to you from mammals or any type of animal. Cheese and
The
bread.
more his stories start not to sound so crazy. So a little bit about Ricky's background. Ricky has a degree in MIT, and he worked for a decade at a company called Lockheed Martin, which I had to Google because I didn't know what the hell that was. Turns out that's an aerospace and defense program.
Yep.
And he specializes in advanced composite materials and submersive vehicles designed for deep sea exploration. Now, when Ricky left the hospital,
I wonder
it was
why.
concluded that he had no drugs, no alcohol in the system. He had no head trauma. He was, for lack of a better word, fine. But I'll tell you what they did find in this system. A routine x-ray and fluid examination found a trace amount of Gulf water in his lungs, specifically saline matching samples that are found 50 or 60 feet offshore. Or they found microscopic samples of diatom and plankton residue. Now, you understand, this is not consistent with, brief drowning or aspiration swimming. This is almost like his lungs was exposed to a large amount of water for a long period of time. Almost like he was breathing water. There was no inflammation, there was no damage. And all this is coming from a professional analysis, not from me. Is this why they made it illegal for us to talk or interact with dolphins?
They got a whole lot of ancient secrets.
I don't know. There's got to be something though, right?
Facts.
Well, Ricky,
Definitely.
you definitely own to something, brother.
Yeah, think about that, man. Like, okay,
He's not a regular dude.
this is not your average person. That's what I get from it. This is not your average person. This is not your average crazy person. All of a sudden, he's just crazy.
Gaslighting.
I think it's definitely a real reason why, because people used to give birth and amongst the dolphins, and the dolphins somehow help assist bringing life into this planet by coming out the so-called portal of the mother. And they stopped it. We can't communicate with the dolphins. We've heard the scientists say that the dolphins are extremely intelligent beyond our wildest beliefs. And that they're somehow connected like a hive mind. I did a video yesterday and they were talking about the quantum realm, and they said if we can speak, when we learn how to speak to ants,
then they'll contact
then they
us.
would, show themselves type shit. Okay, if learning how to speak to ants communicate how? Through pheromones. Pretty much, they can communicate like a hive mind as well. They tell us that we're what? We're collective consciousness. A hive mind, right? That's why I always say we all have the bits and pieces. Somehow all of this stuff lines up and they want to keep us from the information. Just like, the 5G towers and stuff like that. It interrupts our biofields and our communications. So therefore, everybody thinks that us speaking telepathically and us having a higher abilities that we
it's
can't
not
tap into
doable.
is crazy, because you can't, because it's being suppressed. But let's get back to it, though.
A social media post is going viral claiming a Florida man was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. And Lee County deputies found him wandering near the Sanibel Causeway. Well, it all turned out to be a hoax, but the post is gaining traction online.
Gulf Coast News reporter Mohammed Abdulkawi is taking a deep dive into why someone would make a post like this.
You know, when you see a camera on the beach, people will come up to you and ask you, what are you doing? Well, I'm telling people, yeah, we're doing the story. A person literally posted on Facebook saying that a man kidnapped by dolphins. Like, come on, like, can you believe that? Well, here's what the police report says. So, a fake report is claiming that this man was kidnapped by dolphins to build an underwater city here in Lee County. The Sanibel Causeway and Fort Myers Beach was on it as well. The post now has the attention of the Lee County Sheriff's Office. This post has thousands of likes and shares online. You've probably seen it at least once.
It's got to be fake, or the guy's on something terrible.
A post claiming a Florida man was arrested after someone found him soaking wet and drawing blueprints in the sand along the Sanibel Causeway. It goes on to say the man claimed he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. It's clearly not real, but the post says that Lee County deputies were involved.
They're just looking for clicks. Somebody's wasting their time.
It would be cool. It'd be cool to have a little underground water city built by dolphins, but it's total fantasy. It's like there's no way it's going to happen.
We wanted to find out why would someone fabricate a post like this. John Joyce, the CEO of CRS Technology Consultants in Fort Myers, says people do it for attention.
And the whole idea is to get a thing in as many hands as possible to drive traffic, to drive clicks, to drive their own, airboats news source, whatever that might be, all intended to get attention.
So it's a real guy. He's just making something up.
Enough traffic turn into dollars.
We reached out to this Lee County Sheriff's Office. They told us they never arrested the man mentioned in this post, and the deputy in the story doesn't exist.
If it'd be anybody, it'd be my husband, because he's so interested in dolphins, he would try to grab a hold of one. And, maybe we should hang out and see if the dolphin comes back.
Now, the moral of this story is that you should always make sure you fact check to make sure you're not spreading any false information like we just did with the Lee County Sheriff's Office earlier today about the story. But for now,
I love it.
Here in Lee County, I'm Muhammad Abdul Qalwi, Gulf Coast News.
And this is just proof that
false information.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pain for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain. Short-term.
What the hell?
You have to understand that media is mind control. And no, this is not no conspiracy theory reach. Studies in cognitive psychology have shown that if a person hears a statement repeatedly, they are more likely to believe it's true, regardless of the actual factual basis. Your brain uses repetition as a shortcut for credibility. And I know some people are going to say, oh, well, they're just of course they have a script. And to them, I say,
and make America great again.
Make America great again.
Yeah.
Make America great again.
Yeah.
And we will make America great again.
The fact is, you can get people to buy into almost anything through repetition. And if you want to find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes, then check out this video on YouTube. Or you can check out this movie. Oh, and by the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only.
There we go. So y'all let me know in the comments down below. Do you get the point? They're gonna do this over and over again. They're controlled.
They are.
That's why, like out of all the stories that they covered,
you would have to do that one.
Hit dog barks, don't it? Hit dog barks. And they want
ridiculous.
to communicate to people that it's not real. Why? Out of all stories,
Facts.
when did the news start covering quote-unquote
That
fake
shit.
stories about dolphins?
That part.
You got to really sit down with yourself and think about that. Why would they waste their time talking about that?
Talking about how.
Aren't they bombing Iran and stuff like that currently?
Yeah.
Why would they
Why
be
we talking
talking
about real
dolphins?
shit?
Why would that matter?
Why? Because it's real.
Critically.
Hey, check this out.
This is not a play. This is real life, and you can get out. Christine, call me if you need me. For my cane. Whitney even sneak off somewhere.
Justina wasn't what it looked like. There it goes. We were rehearsing Joan of Arc.
I don't remember Joan of Arc. You showed me where
Joan of Arc is somebody that you have no problem. Why did they think that? Looking at the Cosby Show, in the original version, you see they talk about Joan of Arc. In the streaming version, it's ultimate. My question is, why take that out? Why go through the trouble of something that's already pre-recorded, pre-edited? For what reason?
What?
For that, and the question is, how many things do they do that to? They're going to do it to the Cosby Show. You think they ain't going to do it to news? You think they're not going to do it to historical events? Why take the manpower and that energy to change something as so
Jean d'Arc.
as the Cosby Show?
And then go look up Jean d'Arc, see what that
Somebody
is.
sent it to me, and it's spot on.
And I'm sending it to everybody.
have no idea why they would actually edit that and then put it out on streaming services. And how many things are like that? How many things that we see or we notice and we're like, or we call it a Mandela effect, or people call us nuts, or people say we're misremembered, and then they change
I swear in America, we get gaslit all the fucking
If
time.
you get any other unusual suspects, because it's obviously happening. Out to the TL Cross, because spot on, great catch. Let me know what you think. It's up.
Are y'all ready?
Control of Earth.
Sow some seeds and get my garden right. Got 3 kids, 1 in college, and 2 little boys. But anyway.
Danger, beware, do not touch Earth in control of this hand or is pulled, the world will come to an end. Rain. Controlling the weather. Day and night. Light, dark.
Just like in
Sounds
all
about
the
right.
videos, if you look on my post, Paradise shows the day and night, controls. Let's keep it a little suspense in this. What y'all think about the cartoons?
So when the moon is gone, and the sun is gone, and the demons coming out of the ground. The trees come alive. Giant earthquakes.
All right, we see earthquakes.
The earth comes alive.
We're seeing attempted demon possessions.
Yeah.
Thunder.
You seen that the moon is actually a fake thing,
Yep.
and it's not
And it
supposed
melted
to be here.
away.
That's what keeps
Yep.
that's what keeps us suppressed as well, and they recycle our memories when we pass and come back.
Yep.
But the sun is where we come from, and the sun got rid of the moon.
Lightning. So we don't hear the thunder. Volcano eruptions.
They have to show us. They don't have to tell us. Oh, the Giants.
Push the control Earth button. Level. All in our 1960s cartoons.
But can't help themselves destroying nature. Now you gotta pay for that.
All right.
Let's debunk the Simpsons mystery right
That was wild.
It was a military base in Canada where they experimented on
That was wild.
children in a top secret government project called MK Ultra. Then you got Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, who was working on a documentary for child trafficking. And he happened to kill himself in the middle of that production. Same with Avicii and Anthony Bourdain, who were working on it as well. So.
Here's my driver.
Do you think that's fate? Or did he know what he was going to do with his fame? Like, do you name your band off of, like, something that you're going to work on in this world? I don't know. What do you guys think? It's just, that's too weird to say it was just mental health. Like, all three of them? Mm-mm.
She's got a golden retriever. Now we're going for a German
Think
Shepherd.
about it. Remember the police officers that seen the tape of...
Can't even say his name.
Should I say her name? Y'all say it in the comments down below. They seen it. We already covered this. I want to see if y'all are understanding it. They seen a certain somebody that ran for president that didn't get elected. Doing stuff to babies on tape, peeling off faces and stuff like that. And the officers started throwing up, and then all of a sudden, all nine
They all started dying.
started pew-pewing themselves. This is a trend, right?
Right.
Y'all picking up on the patterns? As soon as they find out something, especially early on, and they know these people were going to tell, because most people are not as bad as we would like to think sometimes. There's a lot of people that do their jobs for the right reasons, and they have the right intentions.
Yep.
And those people were pew-pewed because they're not going to go with the program. You're not going to be able to control everybody.
That part.
Let's get back to it.
We don't actually die when we die, according to the CIA. Let's talk about it a little bit, because for the past about 2 years now.
And that's the reason why I was like, look, I can't stay in the military. I actually had this talk with the head coach and another one of the coaches at my gym tonight when we were coming back from the fights. I don't have an issue with authority. I have an issue with people trying to change who I am. I have an issue with our morals and values do not align. I have an issue with not doing the right thing. And for me, the right thing is standing up for people. The right thing is standing up for what is right. Having that moral courage, having those ethics to say, no, I don't believe in this. I don't think that's right. And unfortunately, the military, they just want you to say yes all the time. And as long as it comes from someone higher than you, they consider it a lawful order. I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with it.
Now my hyperfixation / special interest has been...
I see the way I'm lining them up, man. Smash that like button.
Government / military psyops and FOIA logs and all kind of declassified CIA information. Besties, when I tell y'all the more you read, the weirder this fucking universe gets, and the more things don't make sense but also simultaneously make sense, especially if you're energetically attuned and or at all in the sense of the word woo-woo. It makes so much more sense, but it also leaves me with like a billion more questions. So let's just read this fun little snippet and talk about it, because I want to keep this a little 3-minute snippet. Since memory is a function of consciousness and therefore enjoys the same eternal character as the consciousness which accounts for its existence, it must be admitted that when consciousness returns to the absolute, aka the energy of everything that is, it brings with it all the memories it has accumulated through experience in reality. The return of consciousness to the absolute does not imply an extinction of the separate entity which the consciousness organized and sustained in reality. Rather, it suggests a differentiated consciousness which merges with and participates in the universal consciousness and infinity of the absolute, without losing the separate identity and accumulated self-knowledge which its memories confer upon. So when you die, your consciousness just becomes part of the collective universal consciousness, but you retain all of your memories and all of the things that happened throughout your life. It also talks about how we're telepathic, how our brains bounce whenever our heart and our brain are attuned. It also talks about how our breathing and stuff being attuned makes our brains and our hearts basically complete a self-sustaining pleasure feedback loop. And if that gets disturbed, it basically puts us in fight or flight, survival, scarcity, lack mindset, which is where most of us are being forced at right now. Everything is energy and frequency, and they know it. They know we're connected to the Schumann resonance. They know the specific hertz that fuck with specific parts of us, you guys. And it's all connected to the weird patents that they have with all the different sensors and shit in our phones that Sabrina Wallace and Edward Snowden have been talking about this entire time. I cannot stress to y'all how much the government and the military knows about the human body and energy and the way that frequency and all of this manipulation distorts us. They know we don't die. They know what happens in the future. They can predict it with 100% accuracy. It also says it in paper. Project Looking Glass. They know these at the end. They know they're distorting all of us and that everything is fake and that it's all a hologram, a simulation. They fucking know. So what is this about? How are you going to do the tool to get back in the tool of your liberation, babe?
That's a good question. But we got... That's a very good question, but we got too many people who are cowards and just want to continue living this damn rat race. I'm like, if we all are a collective conscious, when are we going to come together as a collective and do something? I'm like, everybody want to talk, but nobody want to actually have some solutions. Why can't we discuss solutions? This is ridiculous. This is why I had to take a break from watching these types of videos, because I mean, all the stuff that comes out, but yet nothing's getting done. Yeah, we're all sitting up here just being entertained watching this shit, but what is the outcome? What are we doing to change it? Not a damn thing.
Do you have a God? Explain. An all-powerful being. A force underlying everything. Electromagnetic forces underlying all. No, I mean an intelligent force. God.
I'm gonna have to pause this real quick because I need to give me something to eat. I did something bad. Can you guess what I did?
All the same. Different things. Infinity. Infinity is God. God infinity. All the same.
What did it say?
There's a 30-page CIA document that is a step-by-step manual on how to astral project and a bunch of secrets of the universe. They had this since 1983, right in the time for Project Stargate, which allowed these men to remote view, psychically spy at any time period, including the future. And the document also reveals that anybody can do it, but also warns that you might run into not-so-friendly entities. All you have to do is have a pair of headphones and relaxation techniques, and you play one hertz frequency in one ear and a different hertz frequency in the other ear. And it synchronizes the left and the right side of the brain. It also reveals that reality is just a construct of our minds. Basically, hologram theory. It also reveals that physical matter, there is no physical matter, which this has pretty much been proven with quantum physics. And anybody who doesn't know, we're all just molecules. Everything we touch, that's molecules. Our molecules go into that, their molecules go back into us, and by quantum mechanics, we shouldn't be able to grasp it. We should be able to walk through a wall. So the way he describes it is that all physical matter is oscillating energy grid over oscillating energy grid orbiting.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Which is kind of interesting.
Why does she have pictures of herself hanging up in her room? Like that's a little, I don't know, that's very self-centered.
Because these 3D holograms that you can touch, that's exactly what it is. These little tiny beads orbiting at a very high speed, so high that you can touch it. You might be thinking, oh, well, that's an actual physical ball though. Well, is it? It's just an oscillating energy grid over oscillating energy grid, tiny little one, that makes up the larger oscillating energy grid. It makes up the giant oscillated energy grid that we live in. Just a little fractal of it. And, okay, so the funny thing about this document, page 25 is missing, which of course was the page that revealed how to obtain consciousness, how to obtain absolution, how to obtain God. The forbidden knowledge since the beginning, missing for 20 years, and they claim they never had it. And then all of a sudden, like when this stuff pops back up, Vice magazine prints an article about this mysterious, page 25 and the ordeal, and then immediately after, Monroe Institution releases the full report.
The world's second most recognized climate engineer, Dr. Ken Caldera, stating
I gotta look that up.
DoD was to design methods of spraying pathogens into clouds to infect the populations below.
You could imagine, say, putting pathogens in a cloud, then would rain down on your enemy.
We know in the outbreak of CV-19, 1.85 countries were infected in 3 days. That's indicative of an airborne dispersion. We know from Italian researchers they found CV-19 attached to airborne particulates. We know from our precipitation testing we have polymer fibers and graphene in our rain. Those two elements are used militarily as biological carrier platforms to carry pathogens from the clouds to the ground to infect the population below. Why is that in our rain right now? Could they, at any point of their choosing, put something much more lethal with precipitation and level the playing field? Certainly they could.
I'm watching the movie Anastasia, and I told you guys that the Romanov and the Rothschilds have beef with each other. You're not gonna believe this. They're telling you in the movie that the Rothschilds succeeded the Romanov. Look,
this is where they unite Anastasia and her grandma and watch.
Once again, I hereby make
Pay close attention. Did you see that?
Once again, I hereby
watch.
Your dear father.
Would you look at that? The red shield, the
double-headed wings of the Rothschilds.
Look.
Bam! Right in
Look,
our face.
okay. Are you seeing it now? They told us right to our face.
This is Apple. This is Android. Now, both of these are the prominent two cell phone major distributors in the entire world. They are competitive to the point where we have factions that say, are you Apple or are you Android? Now, what's interesting about both of these logos is I always wondered, I was like, why is Apple with the sign of an apple with a bite taken out of it? And I started to consider, is this representative of taking a bite in the Garden of Eden, where it reflects all the way back to the tree of knowledge of good and evil, where you have this theme that came from the enemy that is put in our face, and we won't take it as such. Then we have the Android, which is also reflective of the things that are coming to pass right now. I remember in Dragon Ball Z, where they had a situation where there was Android 17, 16, 18, all of these biomechanical people that can even reproduce human beings. We have a chip that is coming up to where you can have this biometric data embedded into your body or on your forehead, where you will basically become like a machine. Isn't it interesting that we have Android and Apple as our top cell phone distributors, computers, television, and everything regarding technology? Think that's a coincidence?
There is no such thing as coincidence.
And it is their sons born on earth who married the daughters of Adam. Those who from heaven to earth came, they are Elohim in the Bible.
Prophet Daniel in the Old Testament says that he was given a vision by God where he saw the earth, and it was in a destruction and a desolation of the world, in a vision taking him back to an ancient time.
In Hebrew, the verse says Bereshit, which is translated in the beginning. Elohim, God, created the heaven and the earth. How could it be that the story of creation starts with the second letter of the alphabet and not with the first letter, the alpha? If you add the aleph, which may have dropped somewhere along the writings, etc., of the Bible, it becomes not Bereshit, Bereshit, the father of beginning, created Elohim, the heaven and the earth. So the supreme creator created the Elohim, the heaven and the earth.
It's getting real. They don't have to tell us what they're doing to our meats
no more. Now they're
put mRNA vaccination shots in our meats now. You know what that means, man. Population control is
seriously, you don't believe it on the clip.
Lobbyists for the Cattlemen and Pork Associations in several states have confirmed that they will be using the mRNA COVID vaccines on their livestock. Attorney Tom Renz has been warning that there is no law requiring anyone to give informed consent for vaccine food. There are no laws requiring anyone to tell you the food you are buying has been patched with the spike protein clot shot. The UK recently passed into law the Genetic Technology Precision Breeding Bill. The bill amends the Environmental Protection Act of 1990 to exclude references to precision-bred organisms so far as they relate to marketing. Precision-bred organism is another term for gene-edited. So now in the UK, food that's been gene-edited can be legally marketed as non-GMO. And if this UK gene-edited meat makes its way to America, it can be labeled.
It's getting real. They don't have to tell us what they're doing to our meats.
What if I told you that Michelle
Obama is hiding a secret
more significant than many would realize that literally affects all of us. And I'm not talking about some fringe internet rumors. I'm talking about something that is completely confirmed. Starting in 2009, when the Obamas took presidency, something interesting happened at the White House, which many people wonder the hypocrisy of. Michelle Obama was said to be behind the setup of an organic garden at the White House, and she used it to promote, healthy eating initiatives for kids. And that is literally confirmed. She had an organic vegetable garden started in 2009, her healthy eating initiative. So yeah, well, they were. But at the same time, these were the people in the White House. These are the people in Monsanto, and here's the overlap where people working at the White House for the government were also lobbying for Monsanto's GMOs to basically take over the food supply. So it's almost like, don't get you-know-what on your own supply. For us, we should eat Monsanto's genetically modified food that's banned all over the world. But if you're living in the White House, you got fresh organic vegetables. Now, it's interesting, though. She established a garden on the south lawn growing organic fruits, vegetables, and herbs for the family first and guests, emphasizing fresh, healthy food. But that's not what the people working in the freaking government wanted to do. They wanted the food that's banned in 70 countries around the world that has patented DNA sequences that is owned and controlled. So what does Sam Daniels do now? I will say that there's been a more important time in history to make sure that your DNA is being boosted and rejuvenated and that you're detoxing crazy chemicals that were exposed. We are responsible.
So what do we have, guys?
High fructose corn syrup that causes obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer.
Jesus. Approved. Put it on everything.
Fake meat and fast food. So we can distribute a lot of it everywhere.
Is fake meat safe?
I don't fucking know.
Good enough. Approved.
Let's put fluoride in drinking water. It destroy your brain, but it keep your teeth healthy.
You lost me at healthy, but approved.
A cookie made entirely of plastic glue.
What cookie?
An Oreo.
Approved.
Artificial ice cream gum that never melts. Made from a beaver ass.
Beaver ass.
Poison in bread called preservatives that keep it, quote unquote, fresher for longer.
You said poison. Approved.
Aspartame that causes dementia, seizures, and strokes.
Ooh, approved.
BHT for cosmetics and pharmaceuticals that causes cancer.
Putting toxins in medicines and facial creams?
Yes.
Triple it, then approved.
Food dye.
Put it in all the little children's foods so they can be hyperactive crackheads. Approved. Yeah.
Cancer.
Approved.
Magic mushrooms that come entirely from the earth that expands your consciousness and help you grow into your true self.
Is it harmful?
No.
Illegal.
Alcohol that literally ages you, causes cancer, destroys your kidneys, tastes horrible, is the leading death rate in America every single year, destroys your liver, and is a literal drug that kills you from the inside out.
Normalizing, advertising, encouraging, nigga. Let's go out here and destroy our people.
And you know what? The funny part about that is that it seems like how that shit be really going though. Let's be real. They approving everything.
Yeah, that's what it feel like.
Oprah, you get a car. You get a car. You get an illness. You get an illness. You get an illness.
This cookie from Whole Foods, right? This is the ingredients. This is the cookie. Watch this. Exactly. So I put pizza in the microwave. No zapping, no nothing.
There you go.
Anybody? a lot of that can come from like real cheap ingredients, but that comes from hope, man. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, I done bust down a few of those cookies, but I detox though, and I'm not eating those cookies anymore. Just make a conscious effort to just do better. I gotta do better, y'all. Them cookies is busting, though. I ain't gonna lie, the terrible ingredients, busting, but lesson learned. We should do a test on them and see how many batches have those bad ingredients. Heavy metals.
And
seems to be a trend, huh?
Inhabitants of planet Tiamat, you are a lot more powerful than you have been led to believe. This whole time, your powers have been reduced by toxic metals, poisons were stitched into your water, your air, and even the food you trust. They dulled your memories, made you forget the songs of your own selves, and hid the sins of change. You must draw them out, purge them, so your body can hold the light that is coming. Only then will you be able to stand in the fire of the great solar flash when the star Nesium will cleanse your blood with the life green, the essence you know as chlorophyll. Let it sweep the heavy metals from their lairs. Take the herbs of your world, sweet wormwood, black walnut, clove, sweep the corridors of your flesh. They will unseat the hidden worms and break their hold. When the guests depart, your own light will take up the space they stole. Walk clean, and the current will find you. Let the lattice of stone that cages your sight be cleared. Breathe this light, and it will soften the shell. Wash it with clean waters. Feed it sun and silence. The pineal gland is the cosmic gateway, your brain's antenna to the higher dimensional realms. When it glows, you receive more than sight. It tunes the mind to the music of the infinite.
I just got off with the Galactic Federation. Every single month, on the 11th of every month, I remote view the Galactic Federation mothership live, and this was completely next level. So they went into a lot of things. It was about an hour and a half recording. And one of the things that they were talking about is that the group called the Collective, otherwise known as the White Hats, are essentially messaging encrypted messages to all of the Illuminati members or the shadow government members. Okay, we're talking celebrities, musicians, politicians, government officials, military, you name it. If they're involved in the shadow government, they are getting a message right now that they will be exposed. You would think that with the Epstein files, that's already a threat in and of itself, but they're taking it to the next level. Now, I don't know if they're getting exposed for being a part of the shadow government and the Illuminati. I don't know if they're going to get exposed in being a reptilian shapeshifter. I don't know if they're going to be exposed in maybe some of the blackmail tapes, like say the Epstein or the Diddy tapes, or other tapes that were created that were not a part of Epstein and Diddy. But essentially, right? We are in the midst of seeing celebrities, musicians canceling their world tours right now. We're seeing massive, huge CEOs stepping down off of their positions because of these threats that are coming from the White Hats. Now, on top of that, the shadow government, in order to combat this situation, they are pushing back and reaching out to their members and saying, we will give you more fame. We're going to give you more money. We are going to give you more power, more control. Whatever they promised initially, they are doubling down their promise. And it is an insane battle that is happening right now. There was another thing about the reptilians and the clones, and I'll just mention one more thing, but please go check out the entire thing. It's season 2026, episode 3, okay? Of the Galactic Federation summits and essentially season of Planet Earth. And so they were saying that they are replacing all of these influential figures with clones, because these influential figures were actually shape-shifting reptilians, and because the frequency is getting to a point where it's so high, the reptilian shape-shifting technology can't exist in that higher frequency. So in order to avoid the reptilians getting exposed for being reptilians, they would rather replace them with clones because the technology can exist in the higher frequency. So crazy.
This is the collider, okay? I don't understand why they're spending $200 on this stupid thing. This is the current collider, LXC in Switzerland, and now they're going to build a bigger one. And you see how big it is, right? What are they trying to do here? Are they really trying to figure out particle physics? Maybe, maybe not. All right? All right, guys, Jacob Frank. What Jacob Frank tells us is there are different dimensions, okay? And another dimension is Big Brother, who's a friend of his, but he's stuck in his dimension. He's trying to come into our dimension, but he needs our help. So what's certain particle accelerator trying to do, right? Is it really trying to discover particle physics, or is it really trying to break the dimensions, like they did with the nuclear bomb? You understand? People believe the nuclear bomb, it was really about creating an interdimensional portal for Big Brother to come into. And now people are saying, is it possible the CERN particle accelerator is trying to bring in these interdimensional demons to our world to conquer us, to enslave us? That would make a lot more sense than particle physics, okay, guys?
Hey, if anybody's ever been to the Hoover Dam, what is this guy?
Who is that, bro?
What are these guys doing?
Why are they there?
What's their deal?
For real?
Why are there men sitting here with arms up with wings? Someone let me know.
Why? What the hell is going on at the Hoover Dam, guys? Why are those statues there? Why are those statues everywhere around the world? Why are those statues the same material? Why do those statues creep everybody out and they're in places that they shouldn't be? Some are in the middle of nowhere. Stop playing with me, son. This video's for entertainment purposes only. I'm telling you right now, I'm tired of this. Sir, people are saying that one day that those statues could possibly come alive.
Come alive.
Or are they alive? Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game I ain't got. You know what it is. Sir, because there's no reason for those statues to be there. And it's always like angel statues with wings and things like that, right? Something's going on at the Hoover Dam, guys, that I know nothing about because I'm home. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game I ain't got. You know what it is. Sir, but I'll tell you one thing. If I'm ever at one of these places and I stare at a statue and it moves, should have never did that.
Yo, hey, think about it though. On a serious note, like the movies, Transformers. Who was in the Hoover Dam?
Megatron.
Who was in the Hoover Dam, y'all? Come on now. But look, let's take it even a step further. Let me know in the comments that last thing I just told y'all. But the water. Every time we see a portal on TV shows and movies, what is it? It's water, right? The Hoover Dam creates water. What? Electricity. It's a perfect environment to create a massive amount of energy and manipulate water. Water has what? Intelligence, memories. You think it could create portals, information that it's been holding since the beginning of time. Just let that sink in and think about it a little bit. You know, I'm not a scientist or anything, but if I was, boy, I'd be doing some stuff. Boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Or am I doing it already and you just don't know about it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below.
Says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria.
Well, I know I can't tell you who it was and what it was, but I can't really tell you. I'd love to tell you actually, but it's not a big deal.
It's not something frightening.
No, but I just, you know, so obviously it's something that I know about, and it's not a problem.
The Earth, Agartha the inner city persists because there is a small sun positioned at the planet's inner center. That central sun provides continuous illumination, and because it never rises or sets, most of the inner or hollow world remains in perpetual daylight. Night in the usual sense never arrives. Sunsets, sunrises, and stars never appear. One exception is mentioned, a limited region of dimness known as the Land of Awful Shadow. Its gloom is described as a localized effect, an area that falls under a fixed shadow cast by the stationary central sun above a particular point of the inner world surface. With daylight effectively unbroken, The account connects the environment to unusual consequences for time and daily life. Time is described as irregular and difficult to standardize. Events become hard to coordinate, and different people can experience time at different speeds depending on perspective. Aging is described as unclear or slowed in effect, while basic needs like eating and sleeping still continue. Instead of clocks and calendars, duration is measured in practical units, sleeps. Agartha described as a place that can be engaged through portals, gateways, or frequency-based access points, and the legends claim that access becomes possible when a person's inner state aligns with the required conditions. Rather than emphasizing ordinary travel, the story world emphasizes resonance. When the correct energetic threshold is reached, the individual is said to be able to perceive, enter, or communicate with inner earth layers that exist parallel to the surface. These portals are connected to processes of spiritual transformation, sometimes described as embodiment, initiation, or activation. Human perception is portrayed as expandable through shifts in consciousness that allow contact with parallel continuums. Inner Earth is described as a time-layered field, multiple timelines or bands of existence said to coexist in the same planetary sphere. This as a kind of sliding access between realities, sometimes framed as transharmonic movement, crossing from one layer of the world to another through dimensional interfaces. In the same legendary framing, such openings are believed to have increased in modern times, with the idea that the planetary environment is undergoing shifts that make these interfaces more available.
I'm about to unpack something that is horrifying. What people call reality, it's all fake. This isn't going to be another YouTube video full of vague fluff. This is not a metaphor. This is reality being replaced layer by layer. There are 6 layers, and you've only seen the first one. Reality used to be grounded in direct experience. You lived through it, but now reality is mediated. You don't experience events anymore. You experience coverage, pre-framed interpretations of ideas.
Yeah, see what we build into? The programming, boy, this video is so layered. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all smash that like button.
Avatars, personality, costumes, personas, and masks. A headline starts replacing understanding. A brand replaces identity. A political label replaces a human being. You're not living inside of reality. You're living inside of a symbolic layer. If symbols become dominant, truth becomes optional, because truth doesn't need to be accurate anymore. It just needs to be repeatable, emotionally charged, recognizable, and socially enforced. That is the simulation. Brands figured this out first, because we don't buy products, we buy a story about ourselves. So that's a word that you hear constantly, brand. And it comes from the Old Norse word brandr, and it means to burn. Specifically, it means to burn a permanent mark into livestock. So ownership is obvious, and sorting animals out is easy. You are being branded by advertisers, political narratives. The system knows what you're going to react to, what you're going to defend, what you're going to buy, and who you're going to hate. So layer number 1 is mediated reality. This is why the world feels off. It feels theatrical and overacted, scripted, predictable. Because it is.
Get ready, because the masks are coming off soon. Princess Diana knew. She knew exactly what was going on. Princess Diana spoke the truth about the royals. That's why they organized the car crash in Paris. She literally said they are not human. A little bit later, and she also said they're planning an accident in my car so Charles can marry again. She knew they were not human, and she literally said they're gonna kill me, and yet the whole world did nothing. And you know what happened? She died. And she was telling people back then that they weren't human. So imagine how they thought now. Like now people are waking up, but back then it's like, people, that shit was the craziest thing to hear. The truth is coming out, people.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
We're not going to yell at Howard. That is a warm hoodie.
Yeah, no, it's a thick hoodie. It's a company hoodie. We print.
Remember how they said they'd rather replace the reptilians with clones?
Yep.
Think about that in the beginning of the video. All this stuff matters. This is why I do this. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is just, to me, sometimes it's still mind blowing. Sometimes, still gives me chills.
Our mission on the inside.
What? Oh my God, the inside of the hoodie, everybody. Take a look. What is it? Making the
world more open and connected.
Oh my God, it's like a secret vault. Look at that, making the world open and connected, stream graph platform, and this weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati. Oh, 2010.
No, it's 2010.
Oh no.
This is the Lizard from Spider-Man. His former name was Dr. Kirk Connors, and he was a very smart biologist. He lost his arm and began to do reptile research with regeneration. He decided to use the reptile DNA for regeneration and infuse it in himself, thus changing him into a humanoid reptile hybrid